see us?
Yep.
Awesome. Should I move it anymore? Can you still see us all right?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right. Hi, everyone. We're going to be starting the webinar now that we got everyone in here. We got Facebook and Instagram social media strategies, best practices for you guys. We compile a lot of tips, best practices, anything you guys might find valuable for as a small business owner. So we just wanted to kind of introduce ourselves off the bat. I'm Brad Vanderberg. I'm an interactive web management major, and I'm going into my senior year.
I'm Shyanna Kelly. I am a marketing major with a digital emphasis, and I am graduating this fall.
All right, so just to explain a little bit about the SBDC DMC, we're a clinic within a center. So we have the Small Business Development Center and then the Digital Marketing Clinic inside of that. We serve small businesses throughout the Small Business Development Center network, and non-SBDC clients can apply to the SBDC to receive our services. The funding is provided from a grant provided by the SBA, and there's no fee for our services. So donations are always appreciated and accepted for us. Just to go over the agenda today, we have optimizing your profile, a little bit of basic information about Facebook and Instagram, and the golden content ratio. We're going to be talking a little bit about writing captions, some more best practices, picking your brand's look, beating the Facebook and Instagram algorithm. And then we'll also be going into detail about live, reels, IGTV, and stories for today. So to start with optimizing your profile, these are just some basic strategies that anyone can use. First, to set up as a business account, we always advise that on Facebook and Instagram. You also want to use a branded profile and cover photos. We recommend a logo for the profile photo. And then for the header, you can be a bit more creative, maybe use a team photo or just anything that really shows your brand look. Make sure you're using their colors correctly. Consistent business description and bio. Definitely include your keywords on Instagram and Facebook. The algorithm is going to pick that up and people are going to be able to easily identify what you provide. We also recommend links to your website, just bringing in that traffic from the social media sites. Update your contact information. Make sure users have up-to-date info on how to reach you guys. Also have consistent handles so people can familiarize yourself with the brand and see you on different platforms. We also recommend cross-promoting, so making sure that your audience knows all the different platforms you're on and sharing your content accordingly. Also adding the business location, address, and hours. This is very big because a lot of people are going to be searching on the internet to see when you guys are open. And you always want to make sure that thing is updated for any user that wants to know a little bit about you guys. A bit more about optimizing your profile. This is kind of Facebook specific, but instead of using the contact us button, use a call to action instead of just a generic one. So we have a client that used book now instead, and it took them to a part on their site where they can actually book an appointment right from there. Another Facebook specific optimizing your profile tip we have is to eliminate unneeded tabs on Facebook. So it's going to automatically populate some tabs for you. If you're deleting those and keeping it clean for your users, they're going to have a lot more information on what you know. We also recommend compiling reviews and check-ins. This is very big for compiling your credibility and letting people know what you're about. We always recommend correctly tagging users in posts. Sometimes this is tough for cross-platform, so you always want to make sure that on each platform you post on, this is correctly tagged. Definitely create a community connection. There's always going to be some groups and kind of hashtags going around in the community. So as long as you're contributing somehow to the community, you're going to increase your visibility a lot. Always pin the best content to the top of the profile. You want people to see your best content right away that shows exactly what you're about. And if you have a really great video or some article that you want people to see right away, definitely pin that to the top of the profile. Always be establishing a consistent tone and personality. People really like to know the person behind the screen, and not just in a business sense. You always want to seem like a real person behind your screen. And then for the last tip we have is just to stay up to date on competitors and trends. Not exactly copying them, but just seeing if they're doing something different, something unique that's working, maybe that works for you as well.
Can you go over compiling reviews and check-ins a little bit more?
Yeah, sure. So compiling reviews and check-ins. I know a lot of this can happen a lot from offline activity, but just asking users whenever they're done with your service or product, just ask them to leave a review. Definitely tag them, and then once you compile those reviews, you can share them on your website, share them on other social media platforms. Those check-ins are really great for getting people to share that to their own feed, and then it gets a lot of different audience involved in that too. So we always recommend doing that.
And then someone said, will you be showing us how to do the things that are suggested here?
Some of them.
Yeah, we'll be able to show you some of these things. We have a lot more examples too in later slides that kind of show you how to position yourself in a certain way. So these optimizing your profile tips, these are just some generic recommendations that we have. So we're definitely gonna be going over these in the future. Yeah, cool.
Okay, so how many times a week do you post on Facebook and Instagram? Just go ahead and respond in the chat, and we'll give about 30 seconds to respond.
There's stuff in the way.
C's.
A's and C's.
Okay.
2 to 3 times a day. Couple zeros.
All right.
Gotcha.
All right.
Move on.
So the best answer would be B. You should avoid posting less than 3 times a week, and your most consistent posting times for the week are Tuesday through Friday. And this is just a little like a mock-up of a posting schedule for Instagram and Facebook and times of day where it's most popular and you're going to get the most engagement when you do post. And then another question is, what type of content are you mostly posting? For those people who are posting like 5 times a day, is that industry, is that product and services, or self-promotional content? And we'll give you another 30 seconds to respond.
This one's a good one.
A, B, B, B.
Great.
Someone said all 3,
Products and
3,
services.
triangle 2, all 3, A.
Nice.
Good.
Awesome.
Okay, so there's actually a ratio, and we call it the golden ratio of how much of what type of content you should be posting on your social. So it should be about 60% curated content. And all curated content means is content that's created by others that you select and share with your own audience. So on Instagram, many profiles, specifically in the travel sector, they don't create any of their own original posts or videos. They just post other videos and pictures that are taken by Instagrammers and users of their services. And the example that I have on there is something that's similar to that. It's an example of a curated content. And this could be a valuable blog post for a company in your field. It could be expert advice from a relevant thought leader or anything else that you think your audience would appreciate or enjoy. And then 30% owned content. So these types of posts concern your business. Their goal is to market products and services. So a lot of companies, they think like this would be the 60%, but it's actually just the 30. Providing valuable content that is not overly promotional, but it's a mainstay of owned content for many organizations. And promoting this type of content on social media is kind of the key to distributing yourself more widely. And it's content that's created by your company. And then the 10%, last but not least, is the self-promotional content. So the main focus here is driving your sales, promoting products and services and events. And when you do post this type of content, these are some examples, it's really useful to include a link to your site. So then people can just click right on that and get brought back to where they can find those products and services. Next, we're going to go into writing captions. So for writing captions, there's a few good ways to approach this. I'm going to go over a list later on, but just for starters, a good visual photograph or design leads to double taps, but a compelling caption leads to interaction. And interaction is something that you're also after: a comment, a message, a click to your website. So sharing pictures on social media is great, but a caption gives context, and context is very important. You don't just want to post on there that's it's a good picture, but they don't understand what it's about or why it's there. And captions can be used to inspire your followers. So the top picture is just like an example of inspirational caption. And then it can also be used to drive conversation or show your brand personality. And the bottom one is just a picture of Charmin. It's kind of funny, but it's how they show their personality of their brand. So some examples there. And then some tips for writing captivating captions. So first off, you want to have a perfect opening, and obviously it's not going to be perfect, but the opening is really important. So Facebook posts can have 63,206 characters. Instagram allows 2,200. But the opening 40 to 50 characters play the most important role. And that's the most important part of your copy is the start. So your captions, they also need to complement the creative. So your captions need to be an extension of your post. They need to relate to it. There needs to be a clear link between the image and the caption. Um, and then using relevant hashtags. So relevant hashtags, they significantly increase the reach of your post. They help you get found by interested audiences. They help you build community and they help you build reach. But you don't want to use too many. So on there, I just have a picture of suggested hashtags for these two platforms. I'd say like 3 to 5, a little more if it's something that are really keywords that you really want to get in there, but you don't want to get into the habit of always using hashtags or using too many. You also want to use emojis. So emojis are a significant way to give a boost to your caption. And on Facebook and Instagram, they're loaded right in the keyboard in the bottom and they pop up. So it's always an opportunity for you to implement them in a post. And I just have an example up there that I think is a good example of how to use emojis. You don't want to overdo it and you want them to be relevant. Also encouraging conversations. So you want to create a caption that entices your audience to respond to your post. That's kind of the main purpose. And a call to action. So there's a clear purpose of a call to action to tell someone which they should do and then give them the motivation to do that. So including a call to action is great in a post, in a caption. It drives traffic, not so much engagement to your website and landing pages and blogs. Um, Making it personal. So using emotions to connect with your audience, like a straightforward, robotic like caption or a really like dramatic quote isn't gonna get the type of response that something that drives emotions or feelings might. And mind the medium. So always craft your captions, keeping in mind what medium you're using, if that's Facebook, if that's Instagram, because on Instagram, a really lengthy, like type of post isn't going to perform as well as it would on Facebook and vice versa. So you just have to keep that in mind, what medium you're using. And then here are just some best practices. Setting goals to increase engagement, brand awareness, and conversions, keeping an eye on your competition, watching for when your brand is being mentioned on socials, maintaining that brand voice and tone. That is also a part of your captioning, responding to all your comments and mentions, and don't just repost the same messages. Optimizing your profile like we talked about earlier, encouraging reviews, so and compiling all of those, answering your DMs, so making sure you're responding to your target audience, removing ghost followers or bots or people that like don't have profile photos or followers or you just don't think they're actually real people. having two-way conversations with your audience, altering your strategy as needed. So don't be afraid to switch things up, to try different things, just to see what type of engagement that might garner. And then consistency as well, but keeping up with the trends, good content, trying to go live, which we will go into, building a Facebook group, using your hashtags appropriately, and then Instagram stories and a brand look. Oh, we have a question? Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
What advice can you provide for finding the best hashtags and relevance to your business? Hashtagify.
Yeah, Hashtagify is a really good site to use to find hashtags that are relevant to your business and hashtags that people are using in context with your business.
Yeah, also on the app, if you type in the hashtag and then you start typing something in, it'll show you the most popular ones for that for the letter that you signified.
Yeah.
So finding a good mix of ones that have a lot of traffic to them is good, and also ones that are just really relevant to you. Maybe they get less traffic, but you're showing you exactly what that hashtag is about. A good mix of those is usually recommended. Yeah, definitely the discover tabs, the explore and all that. Like if your hashtags are being used appropriately, you're going to be popping up in there. You can always look and see what kind of strategies people are using. Always stay up to date on what the trends are. And you can find that in the explore tab on Instagram or on Facebook.
Any more questions? No? Okay. Next, we're going to go into kind of how to choose your brand look and how to choose the right colors. And so the first step is understanding what colors really mean. So they say that the first impression really counts, and that color psychology plays into marketing and how you use these colors, because people understand it and they are affected by it emotionally and elicits feelings. And so these are the different types of colors that are kind of, it's not all the colors, but there's some colors that are used a lot, and that's a description of how they make people feel when they see them. So red is associated with anger, pink is feminine, and so on. So according to a study by the Department of Administrative Studies at the University of Winnipeg in Canada, 60 to 90% of product assessment is based on colors alone. And 85% of consumers believe color is the biggest motivator when choosing a particular product. 92% acknowledge visual appearance is the most persuasive marketing factor overall. So it's really important to get your color brand right. Next one. So number 2 is identifying a brand presence. So what are your brand goals? Do you want your customers to be happy, to get rich, to be informed? Who is your target audience? Do you want them to feel positive, to feel confident or intelligent? And then the personality traits. Is your brand fun, serious, or inspirational? And that's just kind of an image of like different brands and the colors they use and like the emotions they elicit. And the way that you want to be perceived by customers can help further narrow down your color scheme. So while your product might be organic, you might choose a color that's green or brown. And your essence may be that you're about celebrating goodness or happiness. So maybe you use an optimistic color like yellow or multicoloring. And then step 3 is look at other competitor brand colors. So brand colors should stand out or at least be instantly recognizable. So since your product appears around a lot of competitors, either online or on a shelf, you don't want to look the same and you don't want to just blend in. So the example I thought of was kind of sunscreen. You see a sea of yellow, tech companies, you see a sea of blue. So instead of blending in, like think of the unique thing that your brand or product offers or does to stand out, and try to incorporate that into your color schemes as well. And then step 4 is creating a brand color palette. So most brands use more than one color, as we know, and this is called a brand color palette. And it's important to ensure that these colors work together in harmony, that they're matching. So a great starting point is Canva. Love Canva. They have a color palette generator, which you can use to help you find the colors that you like, define the colors that you like, and then making sure that they work well together. And then I just have a list of how some of the places where your brand colors appear. So that's your logo, your website, emails, your social media, advertising, in-store stationery, staff uniforms, and events. And before you commit or test out the color, like before you commit, test out your color in one or two formats, either if that's social media or like printing a business card, just to see like the kind of response that you get. Then my next question, moving on from colors, is what social channel provides the highest return on investment in your opinion? Then I'll give you guys a little bit to respond. Have more Instas or Facebooks? 50-50. Facebook, a lot of Facebooks.
Gotcha. All right, so it seems like we got a lot of Facebook.
Yeah, we got a lot of Facebook, and a lot of you guys are right. Facebook is the social channel that provides the highest return on investment. And then after that, it's Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. They're kind of close. Pinterest, and then Snapchat, which was surprising to me. And then across all social channels, what type of content have you found for your business most successful for engaging your social audience when you do post? Is that text-based post, video post, photo posts, or maybe you use influencers, something of that nature? So I'll give you a little bit to respond as well.
Media.
Yeah, I'm glad it's not like this. Agencies.
A lot of media.
Okay, you guys were on trend with that as well. Photo imagery posts are the most content type used to increase audience engagement. And then it's video and then text based. Influencer and user generated and all the rest are kind of tied. And Facebook has a content hierarchy. So live video is preferred to recorded, which is preferred to image, which is preferred to text only. So posts should strive for high engagement levels and can be created for a segment of its followers and set to specific geographic locations and regions, which is really nice.
Did you know that Facebook is responsible for 2.8 billion of the 4.14 billion active social media accounts? So Facebook is a monster. Your audience is already there. So we're going to go a little bit about the Facebook algorithm. The higher the score, the higher it appears in the feed. Facebook has a lot of rankings and they really take this thing seriously. And so by finding out how Facebook can rank your posts, we can find out how to beat the Facebook algorithm. So the first thing they're going to score you on is recency. The most recent post will score higher. The second impact it has is the relationship. So it's going to find accounts that the person will message, tag, the accounts that they interact with more frequently. It's going to have a higher relationship score, and it's going to examine it in terms of family, business, or public figure. So the higher the relationship and the more they interact with a certain person, the more it's going to show up on the feed. The third one is content type. So users that engage with a certain type. This could be video, like you guys said, photos. Basically, the more they engage with a certain type of either media or text, it's going to appear higher for them. Another one is popularity. This is going to show how often the users are engaging and interacting with the posts. So the more engagement you get at a certain post, you might find that it's exponentially growing. That's because Facebook is putting in the algorithm more often because it's more popular for users. So to beat the Facebook algorithm, we want to talk about a few things here. We want to use it, like we said, it uses variables to score each post. To beat the Facebook algorithm, we can reply to user comments underneath your posts. This is going to help increase the relationship score, which is a really big one for Facebook. Also encouraging users to engage with each other. I know Shyanna talked about putting that in your copy somewhere in your caption, but just kind of carrying that on in the comment section too. Prioritizing reactions over just likes. So on Facebook on Facebook, you can react to a certain post with either a like or a certain type of emotion. We always want to go for the emotions and always react with them in comments as well. Posting at times when engagement rates are the highest. So we're going to show you how to track when your audience is online and when they're engaging with your content, so then we can post at the right time for them. Also using Facebook stories because they don't get impacted by the algorithm. The Facebook stories are going to float above the news feed, and we have some more recommendations for building those in the future slides too. A couple more ways you can beat the Facebook algorithm is to verify your account. It's going to put your business above similar name groups in the search tab. So if people are looking for your business, yours is always going to appear higher in the results. Also utilizing your employees' pages. So tag them in a post, have them share it. It's going to share it to a whole larger audience that might not already be exposed to your posts. We also recommend going live because, like we said, Facebook prioritizes live videos. Live videos have 6 times more engagement and perform very high. This can be very simple. It can be a conversation with users. 10 minutes is the ideal length of time. And of course, we have more live best practices on a later slide. So a question for all you guys, do you run Facebook ads? Yes as well.
It's good.
Awesome. So it seems like you guys might already be familiar with Facebook ads, but let's go into it a little bit more. Before jumping right in, we always want to set our objectives and goals. We want to find out who we're targeting the ad for. This could be creating your buyer personas or finding the right lookalike audience. We're going to touch on that in a little bit. We also want to find where we want users to go. Where do we want them to? Do we want them to land on a specific web page? Do we want them to engage with the content? In the end, we're really trying to drive conversions. So at some point, we have to be making ads that are going to help people convert and get you money. Another thing that we want to set an objective for is what is our budget. That's going to be a big thing that you want to determine beforehand before you start making these ads and pushing them to your audience. So a good thing about Facebook ads is you can actually share them to Facebook and Instagram. So you're going to find an audience on Facebook is going to be the one that's different from Instagram. So we want to go through some phases of the ads. With the user funnel, you can see that on the right side. You're going to have a large funnel at the top for awareness, and then at the bottom, only a small amount of users are going to convert. So we want to push users across that funnel, but we don't want to push them too fast. The first phase of ads we want to do is connect. This is the goal of branding, like telling people who you are, building an audience and awareness of kind of what you do. The second phase of ads is to commit. This is the goal of lead generation. So you want people to consider purchasing your products. You want them to show, or you want to show them what you offer, kind of informing them exactly how you can help them. And then for closing, a goal of sales retargeting. So that's going to be your conversions. You want to offer those products and services and have people buy them from you. So Facebook Ads Manager, to choose an objective, you want to kind of go along that funnel. So the first, the widest area is the awareness. That's going to be where you want people to land in. Do you already have an audience? Do you know who you are? Do they know who you are? Sorry. If not, start there. Brand awareness and reach are going to be really big for these. Just kind of getting engagement and seeing what people think about you. And then the next phase is consideration. So are users interested in your business, and do they already engage with your content? We're going to be going with consideration ads. So that's going to be traffic, app installs. We're going to be going for a lot more lead generation here. And then finally, once users have been across the awareness and consideration parts, we want to get them to convert. So we want to call users to action if they have already shown an interest and engagement with the content. This is going to be focused on sales, getting traffic to the store. Users will not convert if they do not pass the consideration phase, and users cannot consider without passing the awareness phase. So it's really key to just kind of put some ads out there and see where your audience is at. If you're stuck between objectives, definitely experiment. you can create campaigns for users in different phases and choosing different lookalike audiences to see exactly what they're ready to do. So lookalike audiences are going to find users similar to your current customers or the ones that are already engaging with your content. This is actually a really cool area of Facebook and Instagram, and it's going to be in the Facebook ads section. So you want to start by choosing your source audience. You can upload your customer's email, phone numbers, or address through an Excel file with the customer information. You can also use website visitors. So if you have Facebook Pixel integrated into your site, it's going to obtain website visitor data similar to Google Analytics. App activities. So it's another Facebook software that gathers app usage. So if you guys have an app deployed on the store, you're going to find your activity there, and you can source that audience into Facebook ads. Engagement. So this is going to be users who have liked, commented, or shared your content in the past. And that one's really good for consideration ads in the stage 2. And then offline activity. This is going to be using activity from the user on the internet, but it's off of Facebook. So maybe people have interacted with a certain website or called a certain phone number. It's going to also use Facebook Pixel. And just to clarify some of the audience size, for lookalike audiences, you can choose a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being the smallest audience and 10 being the largest. And just know that the larger the audience you choose, it's going to be fewer similarities between users. Whereas if you're choosing an audience size on the scale closer to 1 to 3, it's going to have really similar people that match exactly what you're looking for in the lookalike audience. And then a little bit more about Facebook Ads Manager. Again, this is Facebook and Instagram, but it's called Facebook Ads Manager. The types of ads, you can run these on either Facebook and Instagram, are the images, videos, or a blend of them. It's called a carousel. You can also have a collection if you have an e-commerce store, which is a mix of products. And then you can also have story ads that are going to appear in between their followers' stories. And then just on Facebook, they have the Messenger app, which you can have ads deployed on there as well. So what to include in your ad? You want to put your logo in there. You definitely use that at the beginning. You want to get people familiar with the look of your site so that when they land on your page, they know exactly who you are. Aligning your content with the caption. So you don't want to have any generic content or generic captions. You want to have it really relatable and set yourself apart with the copy. Create value for the user. So again, set yourself apart, tell people why you're unique and why they need to come to you for that business or service or product. Using a clear call to action is very great for your ads as well. Get people to know what you want them to do after seeing the ad. And then just another best practice is to optimize it for mobile and desktop, because most of these users using the Facebook and Instagram apps are going to be on mobile. So you want to make sure it's working on both devices there. And just a little tip for measuring performance. It's really nice to get engagement like likes, comments, shares, and clicks. But you really want to focus on the things that are earning you money. You want to look at the number of leads generated and the conversion rate. So Facebook is going to show you a cost per click, but a click doesn't really earn you money. You want to find what kind of leads you're generating from that. So we use cost per lead, which is ad dollars spent, put that over the number of leads from the ad, and then you can kind of establish a baseline to see how effective your ads are. So maybe the first ad you put out has a really good cost per lead, and you want to keep that going. So you want to compare that initial ad to the next ads and see how they're doing. Definitely try some A/B testing, create 2 very similar ads and then compare the performance, find which one is getting you more leads or conversions. You can also use A/B testing to find what content the users are engaging with most, and also finding different differences in keywords. So maybe users are interacting with this post because it uses a certain keyword that another post doesn't. A/B testing is very good for comparing 2 very similar things. And then just to go into Instagram a little bit more. So if you're trying to find the age range of 24 and under, Gen Z, Facebook is not the main platform. Only about 34% of Gen Z log in daily, and it's decreasing every day. So for that younger age group, definitely try Instagram instead, where 65% log in daily, which is nearly double Facebook. For 25 years and older, 71% of total daily Facebook users are actually 25 years and older. So if you're looking for a specific audience, it's definitely worth it to see where you're getting that engagement because it's different on each platform. So now we're going to go over the Instagram algorithm a little bit. This is going to score on 6 factors similar to Facebook. The first one is interest based on the accounts and posts you interact with. So the people that get a lot of engagement on their posts, they're getting a lot of comments, likes, and shares. They're going to be popping up in the feed a lot more just because of the interest that Instagram is finding for them. Relationship, this is also very similar to Facebook, where it's going to piece together the accounts that you interact with the most, and then it pushes them to the top. This could be people that you DM, direct message. It could be people that you comment on, users that you search for, newly interacted with accounts, newly followed. That relationship score is going to be a lot higher for them. And then timeliness, just like Facebook, posting when your followers are most active is going to be the best because the recency of the post is definitely going to rank it higher. Frequency, based on how much time the users spend on the app. So the longer a user is on the app, it's going to show them more posts, obviously, and it's going to show the feed in a more chronological order. So if the user is on it more often, it's going to show the recent post at the top. The fifth one is following. This is based on the amount of people the user follows. So if you have a lot of followers, not all those people are really going to be seeing your posts because Instagram has a lot more to choose from. So this is where removing ghost followers can help streamline your news feed. Definitely as a small business, this is very important to get rid of bots. And then number 6, the usage. So the longer you're in the app, the more you'll see. When you run out of posts from people that you follow, it's going to serve you suggested posts based on keywords, just maybe types of media you interact with, like videos or photos. So you want to appear on people's screens that maybe don't follow you, and you can do that with beating the Facebook algorithm or Instagram algorithm. A couple more tips just to beat the Instagram algorithm. We'll talk about stories a little bit. So it's going to show you the accounts you engage with the most at the front. IGTV works the same. So if people are continually viewing your stories and always watching you, it's going to appear closer and maybe even on the first page of their stories. The explore page algorithm, it's very similar to the feed, except it's with accounts you don't follow. So this is very important for hashtags, keywords. You want people to be able to find you for exactly what you offer as a business. So a couple tips to beat the Instagram algorithm. Just a general one is to embrace new features. Instagram is always rolling out new things, testing them out. Just give it a shot, experiment a little bit. You can also encourage more interactions with story features. So they have a lot of things like polls, sliders, stickers, hashtags, asking user question, any type of filters or transitions, anything works great on stories like that. Driving conversions with engaging captions and comments. So it's always nice to see a little caption, kind of give people a call to action or what you want them to notice about the story. Optimizing your hashtag strategy. So you want to be consistent, build a unique hashtag. This could be your business name or it could be the name of a product or service you offer. Definitely you want to build up your own hashtag so that when people click on it, they can see all the posts that are related to it. Utilizing a community hashtag. So there's different ones for any area you're in. You're going to see other small businesses trying to build up a community hashtag. And if you enter in that community hashtag in your posts, you're going to be appearing in the feed along with those other ones too. So you want to build that community connection. Definitely cross promote your content. You don't want to be stagnant on just one platform. You want to be sharing it to all of them. And then also keeping up with your DMs. That's gonna help out your relationship score a lot if you're answering people's questions and comments in the direct messages section. Another way to beat the Instagram algorithm is just to use Instagram analytics to see what's working. So finding the right time for engagement, finding what type of content users are looking at the most. Hootsuite, we use that for all of our clients. It's a very great tool. It shows you a bit more insight into the analytics. Another way to beat the Instagram algorithm is to vary your post type. So you don't want to be posting some stale photos or the same videos all the time. You want to vary that a little bit, try some stories. Definitely try going live. We have some more about that. You can also try run a contest or giveaway. This is very great through stories and then promoting it through IGTV or live. So a bit about creating content. Now let's go to Creator Studio. You can link this to Instagram and manage both channels. So this is actually within Facebook, but you can manage both Facebook and Instagram. So that it shows a content library. It's going to put all your posts in one section, and you can easily compare metrics for any post on either of these two platforms, which is really nice in one spot. You can look at insights. You can track the performance by audience segments like age, gender, and location. And this can really help you with your lookalike audience and finding the right buyer persona for your products and services. Another great thing about Creator Studio is the ability to schedule posts. So you can, especially if you're strapped for time, this is great to schedule all your posts for the week ahead. It shows an updated calendar with all scheduled posts, and you can also add different users to also manage the posts if you don't want to do it all yourself. And you can see I included a screenshot at the top. You can flip between Facebook and Instagram for Creator Studio. If you click on the Instagram icon at the top there, you have the ability to share an Instagram post to Facebook as well, because Instagram doesn't accept text-based posts like Facebook does. So if you're on the Instagram tab, it's going to help you save time, but you really don't want to overuse the feature because people are just going to be seeing the same content on different social media platforms, and it's going to get kind of stale for them. So definitely use it sparingly. And then another great thing about Creator Studio is you can keep up with direct messages for both Facebook and Instagram there. So you're not going to be missing anything from your customers. And did you know that 60% of Instagram users log in every day? So you want to create content with a variety of media to engage users as much as possible. You can do this by building your brand personality through stories, IGTV, reels, going live. These are going to be things that these daily users are going to be tuning in for. So stories, as many of you know, stories are daily posts that appear for 24 hours. On Instagram, you actually have the ability to archive a section of stories to your profile. So people can view them at any time. They're available forever. And like Facebook, the Instagram stories are separate from the news feed, so they're going to float above it. You can also share other users' content within your own captions. You can click the little share button. It's like a paper airplane, and then you can add it to your own story. You can also use this to share your own posts again. So maybe you have some content that's relevant for a couple of days, like a giveaway. Definitely keep on sharing that to your story once it expires. Things that perform well on stories are stickers, emojis, filters, photos, and videos. Polls, and then asking questions for a Q&A all perform really well. What's great about Facebook and Instagram is you can link them and then share stories to them both instantly, which is really nice. So going live doesn't have to be a huge production. I know it can be kind of worrisome for some people. Just really think of it like a conversation with users. Just be yourselves. Find what users want to know. So schedule it out beforehand. Maybe some behind the scenes things. Maybe you're getting a lot of questions about a certain product or service. You can also post a Q&A within a story and then get all those answers and then answer them within a live session. People can find that really useful. Another tip for going live is just to find the times your customers are online engaging with the content. This is going to be really big. You can find that within the Insights tab in Creator Studio. So if you're going live when people are more active, you're going to get a lot more engagement. I would definitely try to set a schedule or notify users before you go live. You could do this with a story or just a general post. And then choosing a platform to go live on, you can use Facebook or Instagram, but you can only use one device at a time. Just a little tip, the higher following does not equal more engagement. So you may have a high following on Facebook, but your Instagram users are active more daily and they're interacting with your content more often. So that's really up to you. But if you have two devices, just go live on both. Make sure you're answering user questions and keeping tabs on what the users are thinking. I recommend using Instagram Live or both at the same time, but if you have just one person, definitely go live on Instagram. And then after going live, you can archive that to IGTV, which is Instagram TV. That's another section where it shows your posts on your story. It's going to archive it there. Sharing to your Instagram story for 24 hours. So users can just click on it and then it'll take them to the live feed. And then after on Instagram, you can download the video and post on Facebook. So you can always have that video on Facebook if users aren't there. So IGTV, this is a great place to archive your live sessions here. These are a bit longer videos. They're very conversational tone, like live sessions, where you can keep a discussion going, maybe ask for some user opinions, show users how to do something. These are very engaging because it's going to show them one after another when users are on your page. Definitely include a title, put some keywords in there, and then use a call to action for users. So maybe you want them to go to your website, or you're showing them a certain product or service you offer and you want people to take advantage of that. Whatever your expertise is, that's going to give you a competitive advantage. People really want to know the knowledge that you have and how that's going to help them as a customer of you. So Reels are very similar to TikToks. They're short videos. Generally, they are TikToks. We recommend using TikTok to build your Reels. It's a great tool. It has a lot of platform-specific editing, like voiceovers, background music, transitions. You can put together a lot of clips. Any type of filters and editing is really great on Reels. For Reels, you want to think outside the box. So it's not just your product modeling. You really want to show users something interesting that you do. You really want to try to go viral with the trends here. So for an example, with a client we did a competitive analysis and we found a very great post by another optician. They used a day in a life, an example where they use behind the scenes footage, and it's very organic, small clips put together. They show how they build the glasses and then they show them to the customer and they're very happy with it. Put all the captions on the screen for users without sound. You can use different text, try to use a lot of different colors or fonts. All those are going to work very great on Reels, the differentiation in there. All right. We know there's a lot of information, but we can grab your questions now if you have any. Just to end a little bit, we want you to apply with the SBDC if you haven't already. We're hosting virtual seminars the fourth Tuesday of every month. Also follow us at UWO MKT Clinic. I have the YouTube playlist there for the previous webinar we did. We're showing social best practices by any platform. And then we're also asking you to utilize the SBDC Center for the services. We have a link there as well. And then we're going to be sending out a survey just to compile some feedback for you guys and make sure we're getting the right product for you guys.
Do you have any recommendations on how to create a custom audience?
Custom audience. So I've never built a custom audience. I think the best way for choosing a lookalike audience, I think the best way to do it initially is to find people that are engaging with your content. So using that source with people that are engaging with your content, or using people that visited your website, because these are people that already know about your products and services. And you're not going to be having a lot of building awareness with that. So they already know about you and what you do.
Someone asked if you can show the best time to engage. Screen again.
Sure. Let's do that. It's time to post.
It was like way in the top.
It was.
All right there.
Touch on that a little bit.
Yeah. So yeah, here's the times, and these are just based on when people are the most active and engaged on these two platforms. So Sundays and Mondays are kind of a miss. You can try it, but you're probably going to get low engagement on those days. And these are just like the times of day that people they're active and they're checking their stories and they're checking their platforms and seeing what people are posting.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be different for anyone because you can find that within the Facebook and Instagram insights within the Creator Studio. These are just some best practices, but it's going to be different for any industry based on the customers you're dealing with. Oh yeah, and you're gonna be getting a lot of engagement when people are off of work,
That's what
maybe
I
at
was
lunch
thinking
breaks,
too.
right before, during breakfast, and then also right after work. People are gonna be tuning in and going on Facebook and Instagram then as well.
Yes.
That's for me, yeah.
Yeah, that insights it's very useful because you're seeing like these posts, you can see the engagement like on the front side, but really when you go to those insights, that's where you're going to find how your audience is behaving, that's really useful to know, especially on social media.
Can you highlight community hashtags again?
Community hashtag. Oh yeah. So for community hashtags, hashtagify.me is a very great website for finding community specific ones. I know other small businesses, like especially in Appleton and Neenah, they're trying to build up those hashtags. So maybe just searching in the Explore bar, Appleton or Neenah, or whatever city you're in, it's going to show you the most popular hashtags for that area. And that's going to be really useful for tapping into the community and getting your posts on a lot of different keywords and hashtags.
You're good, Brian. Okay.
Just remind everybody the session will be recorded.
Yeah, and just a reminder to apply with us as a client. And thank you for your time.
Yep. We'll be posting the recording in that same YouTube playlist. So if you click on that link, it's going to be showing up very soon. We really appreciate the engagement. You guys were great. You guys were a great audience. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye.